Hello and welcome to Stretford. Paddock, today's podcast is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Now more than ever, our internet reliance has been rapidly increasing. We stream our favourite shows, keep in touch with loved ones, and watch podcasts, not to mention, of course, the football. We'd like to think that information is safe, but as our online footprint increases, so does our need for proper internet security. Surfshark is a VPN service that protects your information by encrypting all the data that you send through the internet, keeping anyone unwanted from seeing it. Another great reason to use a VPN service is often when we're trying to stream something from another country, it can be restricted, so you can only view it from that country. However, using Surfshark VPN enables you to view content that is only usually able to watch from different countries, from abroad. So, for example, if you've got a show or a game that you want to watch that is only being streamed in a certain country, using Surfshark VPN, that will allow you to watch that. So that can be channels and services such as Netflix, X or Twitter, Amazon Prime, all those different channels and services that you may only be able to watch in different countries. With Surfshark, you can simply solve that problem by changing your location. Also, if you do go abroad, you're on holiday, you're on the beach, and you still want to tune in to the Premier League or to any other services that you can't get while you're abroad, well, changing your location back to the UK and using your normal streaming service will enable that using Surfshark VPN. Currently, Surfshark has an amazing deal on. By using the link in the description and the promo code Paddock, which is pretty easy to remember, Paddock, you get an extra 4 months free. Surfshark also offers 30-day money-back guarantee. So use the link in the description and the code Paddock and you get 4 months free. And don't forget, you also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Brew. Yes, we are a little bit late, but make sure you are getting involved in the chat and the comments. So there's 4 of us on it today. Mate, you've got the dream team on. From Real Res Talk, we've got Nick McCabe. How we doing, Nick?
Have I got to do like a big intro and step up?
That's enough, aren't you?
Let's go.
Right.
Okay.
No, you can if you want. Go on.
I know, I feel like I'm a bit camera shy now.
Camera shy? You've been...
Not in the right place.
You've been all over the gaff this way. Where was your Monday?
Busy, man. Busy.
Where was you?
Where was the Monday, you tell me? BBC Manchester?
Yeah, where was your Monday? I'd have to check with my PA where I was on Monday. Because I'm that
local.
That busy. Yeah, so you went in there and did a bit on what was it on?
United with our guys.
Sorry, so rude. What was it? What's it called? That I've been on it and I can't remember.
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate. Also, Mr. Dave Pritt's back with us.
Hello.
Are you still sulking about the Academy review?
No.
You're a bit annoyed, aren't you?
Not at all.
You are.
So you're the one who's sulking. They're begging me to come back.
5-year-old argument. I'm not sulking, mate. You're sulking.
I couldn't do it, and you just. Please come back, and then they got some new kid.
Right, Dave used to do the Academy review. Everyone knows anyway, but if you don't know. And then I used to ask him every week, do you want to come back and do the Academy review? And he's like, oh, I can't bother. I'm Paddock FC now. So we got Finn in to do it, and then Finn started doing it. And Dave was like, oh, you know what, I don't mind doing the Academy review.
No. We'll go over that.
Get rid of Finn and get me back in.
No,
back.
No, I don't.
I watched that this week as well.
I love throwing Dave Pritt under a bus. It's my favourite of it. And last but by no means least, we've got Joe Sealey with us. How are we doing, Joe?
I'm glad to be back.
Good to be back. You are a legend in your own right, but you're also the son of a legend, son of Les Sealey. And as anyone knows on this channel and on this show, he was part of the greatest achievement in the history of football, winning the 1991 Cup Winners' Cup. Have you still? What was you trying to get signed? You trying to get your?
Oh, it's the first game I ever went to.
Yeah, which game was it? Your first game you ever went to?
92, 1st of January.
How old are you?
So was Les Sealey in net then?
No.
Was it Schmeichel?
Your mate.
Well, my mate Peter Schmeichel. Yeah, let's not get into
38?
that. What?
Sorry, 38. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, a little younger.
All right. Stop flirting with him.
Saying, I'm just being honest.
No, you don't look a day with 37. On the theme of Europe, we are going to talk about Manchester United and Europe. I know it's the Brew, so we'll go wherever the conversation will take us. But do get involved in the chat and the comments. United have just had another underwhelming game, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? I'll start with you, Nick. Loads of people in the chat already. Mike Ferguson, God bless Les Sealey. Well said. Hit that like button and do get involved in the chat and the comments. We'll make it a bit of a convo, not just between us 4. We'll start with you, Nick.
Yeah.
What's going on with United? Why are we not winning the games in Europe?
How long you got, mate?
Well, you've got at least 45 minutes.
a record shocking, innit? I was just saying before, off camera, last win was Copenhagen, I think, exactly a year ago to this day. Extremely worried with Ten Hag in Europe. It can't seem to get the job done. And when the squad got announced last night, you're looking at it and you're like, what on earth is going on? It's almost like a game of Guess Who and putting this puzzle together. And Mizrahi is a 10, and then where's Lindelof and Leach are going to play? And I felt it was a bit scattered in the actual game that represented the lineup and the way we approached it. You look at Fenerbahce, who are 4th in Turkey at the moment, to go there and put performance. And obviously it's tough, it's an atmosphere, it's away. But you still expect United to get the job done with the quality you've got on the pitch. And to see no improvement from a year ago exactly today to now, that should tell you everything you need to know about the manager, for me personally.
No, Dave, where do you stand on the manager? Because, well, that looks as it all. We have Dave single. He's got a single. Dave, I'll ask you that question again. Where do you stand on the manager? No, because
I wanted him gone at the start of the summer.
You wanted him gone.
Yeah, well, at the end of the season,
you wanted him gone after the Carabao Cup final win, didn't you? Which was a bit weird.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Do tell me about this.
We didn't get sacked.
He's proper. That's 2 buttons in his room under now.
Dave was on the pitch at Wembley.
What annoyed me was we had a terrible season last season.
Yeah.
He wins the FA Cup, and then all of a sudden we've had a great season, which is utter bollocks. We had a terrible season and won a cup at the end of it. And the club wanted him gone. They were interviewing other people, but because he won the cup and they took too long waiting on that, we never got the people in. So we give him another year, and it's been more or less the same as last year. Dreadful, but once again, people just remember the trophy, not the way we played all last season, which was utter drivel.
Joe, you're a level-headed guy. Last time me and you were chatting, you seemed pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on it now? Because, as always, and you'll know this better than anyone, the fan base, for once, for a change, is divided. Because we did the watch-along last night, me and Joe, and Joe McGrath and Ronnie, and after the game we did the review, and it felt like no matter what you said, if you said like, okay, a draw in Turkey's not the end of the world, people were on you, oh, it's unacceptable, we've not lost one for a year in Europe, get a grip. And if you said, this isn't good enough, we've got to sort it out because it's poor, people are on at you, oh, get behind the manager or whatever, or it's not that bad. Where do you stand with it all?
I think it's difficult, but I do think we're getting to the point where we spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
We're getting no results. And then when you say things like TNS in Wales have got a better European record than us in the last 12 months, that ain't the best, is it?
No.
And they won 2-0. And yeah, I get it, 1-1 away at Fenerbahce, but the Turkish league is not the Turkish league of 15, 20 years ago. You kind of put that in the category of the second tier of European leagues, maybe third, and we should be walking over Fenerbahce. I mean, if you put other teams that are in the European League, Premier League teams in it, they beat them.
Yeah.
We can't close out games, can we?
No.
We go 1-0 up in the first 20 minutes.
And you know it's coming, don't you? It's inevitable. You know it's.
And Arna's ends up being the best performing player potentially last night. There's an argument for that. And he shouldn't be, should he? Our goalkeeper, Man United's goalkeeper, shouldn't be our best player on the pitch in Europe.
No, it's a good point because all these teams we faced, they absolutely stink of the Europa League, don't they?
Yeah.
Like FC 20, Porto. I know Porto have been in the Champions League. They beat us in the Champions League. They've won the Champions League.
Not been great,
but and they've lost some of the best players last season. Yeah. Like they are a Europa League team. Fenerbahce, as you said that, Joe. They're not. This isn't Barcelona or Real Madrid or even like an Inter or whatever.
It's not like any games you're looking forward to at Old Trafford going, yes, come on, here we go.
No, it's not, is it? It's
the biggest game we're going to have in Europe is so far this season is going to be the Rangers game, which is it's Rangers at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a game that you should win. What do you reckon with all the Europa League stuff? Do you think he needs to go for it? Is it something that you're worried about, concerned about? Do you want to see him going for it? Because he does tend to go for it in all the cup competitions, which kind of saved his job. Or do you think he needs to just focus on the league and stop worrying about his...
I think if you're tactically flawed in the Premier League, as we've seen quite a lot, when you're going into Europe, what I thought he would do last night when I saw the lineup is a back five. I thought that made more sense with having Mizrahi and Diallo in the team, shore it up a little bit. Fenerbahce get a bit frustrated pushing on because they did have more possession than us, and then you kill them on the counter attack. The issue is, first and foremost, systematically it was flawed with the start that we had, and then the individuals that we had in like Xerxes just not turning up. Like when it's going into him, you expect just a nice little layoff, through ball, not hitting those certain things. I just thought there was too many red flags with that performance, and it's been like that for so long now in Europe. I'm almost becoming accustomed to it and used to it as a United fan. That's embarrassing to say, really, when we're playing the level of opposition that you've just been talking about there.
And I kind of feel like, on what you just said, it's right. My dad was in, you could say, a Man United team that was a cup team.
Yeah.
But you saw improvements.
Yeah.
So you could see in the league it was improving. If we're going to be going backwards in the league but winning the cup, that's not good enough for us. If we're going to win cups and we're improving in the league, we've all accept that in the moment.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing that, are we?
No.
We're fluking a cup. We're lucky to get the cup, or we're happy to go to Wembley. I'm not happy to go to Wembley as a Man United supporter.
No.
I'm a Man United fan because I grew up with them. I grew up around it, and they were winning, and that's what we all remember.
Yeah.
So we've got to see that improvement coming back, or it ain't good enough.
That is a worry for me. Is that you talk about that era you're in, Joe. And we're all in a similar era. I know you're slightly. You're a couple of years.
He looks younger.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
You're a little bit younger than me. But we're used to winning things. We've still seen a lot of success, and my sort of concern is now we're getting so far away from the real sort of glory. I know we won the FA Cup last season, but the times when we were winning titles and everything, it almost becomes accepted now. Do you have that concern, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, you could say in the next 5 years, if keep the manager, even if we don't, and we play the same way, we could win a couple more cups, but we're getting nowhere near that top four. Not even, never mind challenging for the league, not even the top four. I just think we're just way off the pace. That many teams now are better than us. You look at Villa, what they've done in the past 2 years.
Villa have smashed that there.
Yeah, and it's just a bit of good coaching and getting the right players in it. And we're spending a load of money on players who, realistically, what he's brought in, you're looking at them thinking, are they going to be Premier League winners? And maybe one with Martinez that he's brought in, you could say yeah, but the rest, no chance.
Mike Fergus says, a Man United goalkeeper in Europe isn't a good goalkeeper unless he has a deep gash on his leg. I wonder what he's on about there. Richard Lewis says, God bless Les Sealey. Remember having a pint in Leslie's pub in Woodford in the early 90s?
The double L.
Is that, I mean...
Yeah, the double L. Right. It wasn't his best investment, let's put it. He shut after a few years, and my life definitely was worse at home. My Christmas was worse.
Woodford, where is that? Is that near the airbase?
Essex. No, it's in Essex, East London, Essex, South Woodford. It was on Snakes Lane East.
Ah, right.
It's now a petrol station in a block of flats.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, it's the best thing that ever happened to that building.
There we go.
Fair enough.
Mike says, did you see Ahmad looking naffed off when subbed on? Nick, talk to me about Ahmad Diallo, right? Because where do you stand on him? Because as part of me, I love Ahmad Diallo, right? I think he's a very good player. But I think that two things at the same time can be true. He's a very good player, but there's some people that think he's the answer to our problems, which he isn't. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not to be that guy, but I was driving at Ahmad bus.
Harry Hamas.
Yeah. Ahmad bus, sorry, for a while. When I watched him at Sunderland under Tony Mowbray, I thought, phenomenal player. Yeah. So always that question, can they translate it over from the Championship to the Premier League? And I thought he started off at United, the odd appearance, I like the look, and I was like, let's see him in 90 minutes, let's see how he cracks on. And then when he came in the start of this season, I thought he looked good, looked decent. Did he get was it a goal against Brighton or assist against Brighton?
He got a goal against Brighton. He looked lively against Liverpool. No, he was 3-0 down, but he was a breath of fresh air when he came on, got the crowd going.
And when I look at the forwards as well, with Garnacho and Rashford, very direct, very selfish at times. Ahmad's one of those who he'll take it under pressure, he'll look for a man, he'll combine with Bruno Fernandes, so he brings that different element on that right-hand side, which is what I liked. But he did go a little bit quiet, I would say, in the past couple of weeks. So if he wants to freshen it up and try Anthony on the right-hand side, if he thinks what he's seen in training is really good, I didn't mind it, to be honest with you.
What do you reckon, Dave? You've been watching young players. I know Ahmad's the slight difference. We bought him.
Yeah, but he was still wearing that under-21 team.
Yeah.
He always looked bright, but once again, he has moments where you look at him and you think he is good. But he's not a starting player, is he? He's definitely one you have on the bench or some sort of a rotation player, more or less.
Yeah.
With the forward lot, I mean, even when they're having bad games, I don't think he's the answer to what I'm saying, getting us up that table. It's unfortunately, but I do think he's a decent player and a decent squad player.
Joe, I don't want to keep repeating myself, and especially when me and you chatted before about this when you was on, but it's a good topic to talk about. And I don't want to get too dramatic about a draw in Europe, but we have had this long run now. Do you think there's an issue maybe with some of the more experienced players stepping up a little bit? Because we're talking about Ahmad Diallo, we're talking about Garnacho, we're talking about, I know we only mentioned him in passing, but Harry Hamas. But I'm looking at some of the senior players there and I'm thinking, they must feel it. If you're, I don't know, Marcus Rashford, for example, and you're looking at it around and you're thinking, this is a player who was tearing up in the Champions League not that long ago, and now you're in Europa and you're on this horrible run. I know Bruno didn't play last night, but when he plays, De Ligt's done a lot of things in Europe. Do you think some of the senior players maybe not need to get together and have a chat, but I don't know, maybe step up a bit and go, look, we need to sort of get a grip of this because we can't keep throwing away leads.
Well, I think that if it's going to improve and they're going to pull that group together, it has to be those players, because you can't expect young players that are doing extremely well, that are in and out of the team, to sort that changing room out. That is a long-term aesthetic problem, and I think we hear Roy Keane. I was talking to actually someone this morning about it, and I was saying you need someone like Roy Keane to come in that changing room and you go like smash people's heads together, get him out, get him in, and pull it together, because you've got a group of players that have done well at other clubs that are coming to our club and falling apart, in my opinion, or not.
So weird, isn't it?
It's not one. It's we can name 5, 10 players that have done it over the last 5 or 6 years that have happened, that have gone either on to win Champions Leagues or win leagues, or have won them in the past and come to us and done nothing. So they're either coming in and taking their money, and it's becoming that, or something inside there is they're walking in and there's something poisonous going on that's not coming out. But I think that's got to change. And if you're going to be a Casemiro, for example, you've got to be looking at people like that to get hold of the change room.
He's not done too badly in Europe, has he, over the years, Casemiro? He did all right at Real Madrid. Was it 5?
Once again, another cup player didn't do that well.
Casemiro, cup player, there's your line. Just a cup player.
What did he ever do? What's he ever won?
Yeah.
Santa Notch says, that's one of the biggest issues, Jay. Who are all the young forward players looking up to around them on the pitch itself? I think we've had this discussion, haven't we, over the last few years, probably over the last 10 years. Since we stopped winning titles, there's always been this thing about the senior players, especially when, excuse me, when sort of between the Van Gaal and all the era, we lost a lot of the title winning squad, didn't we? They just moved on because they got too old, they retired, or they just, whatever happened, we sold them, whatever. So then you had all these other big name players, you mentioned Joe coming in, you had other experienced players who've come through the academy and stuck around, but then there just doesn't seem to be, I don't know, sometimes when you look at the players, you think there's talent there, but is there togetherness, is there the leadership element to it? Sometimes I think that is a little bit missing.
Especially when they're being pulled out of the team left, right, centre as well. Casemiro, he's had his issues. There's been frustrations with Erik ten Hag because of the final. Didn't start that, seemed to kind of, get a bit irritated. I just think if we're watching it as fans, none of us have, well, I don't think we have our, UEFA B licence or what have you, but if we're watching it and we can see that it's flawed and we're getting frustrated, you can only imagine what the players are thinking when they're on the pitch, when they're going out on there. Do you know what I mean? They must be getting frustrated with it, and they must be that's what I'm not saying it's ever an excuse to go out there and not perform, but I just mean it's when you've been following it for 3 years and there's still no consistency and there's still nothing to look towards, then you would get frustrated.
I think also the problem comes if you go, who's the starting 11 on Sunday?
No one knows.
If everyone was fit, the whole squad, who starts? I can't tell. I can't even tell you the shape.
No, I'll be honest with you, I think you're right, yeah.
No consistency, that's the issue. Liverpool, I hate using them as example. I know it's Liverpool.
Good example, though.
But their back five has played together for years.
Every game.
And they know each other's game spot on. Our back five, who's it going to be on the weekend? You don't know.
Mate, it was a funny one, wasn't it, with Mazraoui and the 10? That surprised a lot of people. What did you make of that?
I didn't watch the game, but when I saw it...
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Probably best, to be fair. Yeah.
But it doesn't...
You've gone from going to 5 games a week to not even watching them anymore. He used to do more games than anyone, right? Me and he used to do shows together. And I'd be like, it'd be on a Monday, and he'd be like, what have you been up to last week? He went, I went to the under-18s, did the women's team, did the first team, the academy, and now it's just like...
Dedication.
Teletext flicking.
Watching, is it? No, I'm joking. But yeah, it seems a bit odd. I just don't get what he's trying to achieve at the moment.
Yeah.
And I just think, is it worth waiting out and just let's hope he wins another cup and then we finish 10th in the league? Or is it? But the issue is, it's like people are saying if we get rid of him, Ruud's going to take over.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Ruud really the answer. He's coming as a striking coach and we can't score goals.
Have you watched Ruud at PSV though as well? It's not too dissimilar from what Ten Hag's doing now.
Really?
So it's almost like a craving from the fans because obviously he's a legend, but then
you're bringing in a very
similar style.
Red Lad says, Jay, please tell Joe my missus loves him on Housewives. There you go.
I'm the goat on that show.
Yeah. Between me and you, red lad, my missus does too. Sirius Lee says, Les Sealey, genuine legend. I took a penalty against your dad at Steve Brew soccer school in about 92-ish. He bloody saved it. He signed my shirt and it made my childhood. Respect. Do you know what? That's a better story than I had at my school. Because City keepers came to our school.
Did they?
Martin Margetson saved my penalty.
No idea.
And you know what he did? Right, I've had a beaming bonnet about this for 30 odd years. Like, everyone took the penalty, and for the last penalty, he'd point to a place to put it, and then let you score, right? And because I'd scored all my penalties, he pointed to where he won it, and then saved it.
Oh, that's bad.
So I didn't have me 5 out of 5.
But then you learn. It's a lesson.
And that's ever since that day I've hated City.
Yeah.
Well, I hated him before that, but yeah, I remember.
Especially him.
Yeah, especially him, Martin.
I'll tell you a story after about him.
So no one's listening.
I can't tell you this story.
It's all right, Joe. We know what you're getting at. Don't worry. It was him and Andy Dibble.
I know
He was
Andy.
Andy Dibble.
Played for Luton as well.
Yeah, and it was funny because when I was a reporter, I was outside Wembley covering City versus Liverpool in the League Cup, and Andy Dibble walked up, and it was when Willie Calabaro, how do you say his name, had just been announced as the keeper. So it's like, oh, he's dropped. Was it Joe or whoever it was? I can't remember who the keeper was at the time. And it's a big stone, and Andy Dibble just walked up, so I grabbed that and can I have a quick word. And he was like, oh yeah, like I think he's a bit surprised anyone recognised him, do you know what I mean? Because he's been left alone. So yeah, I don't mind Andy Dibble, but Martin Margetson, I've always held a bit of a grudge against him, but we'll get into that a little bit later. We've got West Ham at the weekend. Looking forward, connection there.
I'm going.
You going?
I'm going, yeah, I've been invited to go, yeah.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, one club invited me, but I'm going.
You going there? Are you going to be in with are you going to be in the nice bit?
I think so. I think
you're going to get away with it with shouting when United concede. I'd say when United score, but I don't know if that's going to...
Yeah, we got to beat West Ham, I mean.
Yeah. I've not been to the London Stadium. I went to Upton Park. You've been 3 times, have you? Do you know what last time I went to Upton Park we got beat for? No.
Never went to Upton Park.
Like,
You don't know which game's that?
Mate, it's a
Great stadium now.
Everyone says so, but yeah.
It was. I'd tell you when it was, right? In fact, I put in the chat, right? We got beat 4-0 against West Ham. See if anyone can guess what competition it was in and who the scorers were. I'll give you a clue. It was a midweek game.
Carabao.
I was there.
Was you there?
So what I used to do, I shouldn't say this, I was playing at West Ham, and my dad was at West Ham, but I support Man United. So I used to go in the away end.
Right.
When we played Man United, and I took my son to that game.
Right.
I was sat behind the goal.
Right.
I'd remember that game. Midway, it was freezing as well. It was like
It started
November,
snowing
December.
by the end.
It was freezing.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
It was a while ago. That was 2000.
Was I born?
It was around 2008-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
Fletcher played in midfield.
13
Yeah.
would have been.
So you would have been in your 20s. What?
13.
13,
mate.
sorry.
13. Not 30 yet.
Someone said, Vancy says Jonathan Spector. Yeah, I think he got
Jonathan
a brace.
Spector, yes.
Yeah, he got a brace, didn't
he did.
He scored like 4 goals for West Ham.
He
Two of them in that game.
One he was with us originally.
Yeah, American.
Honestly, he scored.
That was the game.
Yeah, Carlton Cole scored. I remember it was one of those. It was horrible. It was started to snow.
Yeah.
We got battered. I was just like, and I remember on the coach on the way home, it all kicked off.
I stood next to it. Do you remember?
Everyone was like, ran out of beer and everyone started arguing and someone had been chanting Viva Kembalo for 3 hours. And someone took offence and then hit him and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, how can we make this night a bit worse? You know, one of them ones. So let's have a scrap on the coach on the way back.
Like Roy Keane said, get stuck into it.
Get stuck in. I'm just having a look here at Jonathan Spector's record for West Ham. He scored 4 goals for West Ham. Two of them in that game.
Wow, 50% of his goals was against United.
So who are you next to then in that game?
So do you remember the 2 guys who were the turbans that used to stand next to Ferguson?
Yeah.
Yes.
They were standing next to me.
Really?
Yeah, because they were going berserk. They were going berserk
class.
in that
They were
game.
class then. People had this theory, didn't they, since they stopped sitting behind the dugout that
The magic's gone, man.
the magic's gone. I mean, it might have something to do with Fergie retiring as well.
Forget about that.
And you know, playing with the guys sat behind him, then fair enough. Yeah. Since they left, it's
The magic's gone.
yeah, the magic's gone.
Yeah.
What do you think about this game against West Ham? Because listen, you can get away with drawing in the Europa, and even the terrible European record. It's not the end of the world because we can still go through. The league is one where he's going to get judged a lot more harshly on. We've got, recently won against Brentford, which was a positive result.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is we get a result against West Ham? Hello, is that West Ham?
I think we are
get
the Forrest Gump analogy. You quite literally never know what you're going to get when you're going into a game. You
No.
don't. We could go there, turn it up, win 3-1, and then go lose the next week after. In terms of what I feel going there, I'm actually worried about this game, and I shouldn't be because West Ham, I think they shipped 3 against Chelsea, 4 against Tottenham. They've conceded, I think, 23 goals in all comps so far. So they do ship a lot of goals.
They have been conceding left, right and centre.
Which is weird, because they brought in a Spanish David Moyes, who's basically doing even worse.
He's not done well, Lopetegui, has he?
No. It's just a fancy name.
He's a weird manager, Lopetegui, you know, because he did well at Sevilla for a bit. He got the move to Real Madrid. Didn't he get the move to, was it to Spain? And then he'd agreed to go to Real Madrid to Spain, sacked him.
That's it.
Then he went to Real Madrid and he sacked him almost straight away anyway. And then he was at Sevilla. I remember he took Martial there, didn't he, on loan?
Yes, he did, yeah.
I remember, mate, he had to go at him after the first game. Remember? He said he's not good enough. Which was a bit like, really? So yeah, and he's gone in there and he's not improved on David Moyes, has he?
The money that's been spent as well. You look at the signings when you first brought him in, you're like Somerville, decent championship player. Let's see if you can translate it. You look at Fulkrug, the Euros that he had, there was a lot of hype around him. He's not really settled in properly. Wan-Bissaka's done okay. But the quality they've got, they're underachieving it.
He's going to have the game of his life, by the way.
Wan-Bissaka, you know that. You know for a fact. But one good thing is they've not got Kudus, because he got a red card in the last one. So
did you see that last week?
Yeah.
That red card. How did the referee watch all that and not give him a red card?
I don't know.
He gave him a yellow, didn't he? And
He gave him a yellow and then walked over, didn't he, come back and change. I mean, I suppose that's the one time VAR's got it half right, isn't it?
But it was mad because you had all these bodies around him where he'd been like throwing people to the deck and punching.
It was like WWE, wasn't it?
They're all around him. He's lost his head completely.
He's gone.
Yeah, like you can see he's gone. Even his own teammates are like, bro, come on, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, and then the referee's gone, no more around. Do that again, and you get a red. And you could see he was thinking, Jesus Christ, I've got away with this one. And he was waiting for VAR, and he just stood there. And as soon as he saw it, he just was like, right, fine. But yeah, him not, despite the fact he lost his head, he is a good player. Yeah, they have spent a little bit of money,
bit of cash.
Mate, forgot about him, James Ward-Prowse.
Moyes might be back in by Christmas.
Mate, honestly, one of my mates predicted that.
Do you reckon you have him back?
I'd give him another go.
You would?
Shut up, Dave.
Would you really?
Over what we got now?
No.
Would you really?
If we had to sack him.
Did you watch that season?
Yeah. It's not the worst season we've had.
Real clips.
Yeah, but like he inherited the title holders. He inherited the champions, and people forget in Fergie last season. Don't like the people look on paper and look at the points. It doesn't say the story. Yeah. Fergie started playing the kids towards the end.
He did.
It always wrapped up, and he was never bothered about record points tallies and shit like that. Fergie, like that was a pretty easy title win in the end. We didn't get pushed too far, and then Moyes comes in and he just didn't get it, did he?
It's too much, but I think he should have had 2 years.
Do you reckon?
I think his second season, just first one settle in. He did well in Europe.
Do you know?
He only got beat by Munich, but we had a good run in Europe under him.
I'd have to push back on that slightly, Dave.
Did we not do well?
Because I was at the Olympiacos game in Greece and we were terrible. And we lost 2-0 and Ryan Giggs had the game of his life in the return leg to win 3-0.
Okay, so we got beat by Munich and he finished 7th and he got sacked.
Yeah, but but look at he inherited the champions, and also we got beat by Munich and he got sacked. That's not the full story. You're saying he lost to Bayern Munich.
I'm sure we lost to Southampton at home that season. I was at that game.
Once he got kicked out of Europe, it was like Sealey.
Sunderland knocked us out of the Carabao.
Yeah,
do you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
With the worst penalties ever.
Yeah.
Remember that penalty shootout?
Oh, that was.
I forget.
Oh my God! Honestly, I remember
Jesus.
Welbeck set the tone. I love Danny Welbeck.
Yeah,
he set the tone, didn't he, when he scarred his first one. Yeah. And then Phil Jones did a run-up where he seemed to stop running too soon and had to lean into his penalty, and I was like, oh my God, this is
Did we only score 1 goal in that penalty shootout?
I
think we only scored.
Did we score 1 or not?
I think we scored 1.
Did we? Yeah, it was a disaster.
That was a night game cold as well.
Yeah, and I remember we equalised in the last minute, didn't we? To take it to penalties.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And you think, come on. We'll be all right, and then we got knocked out by Sunderland.
It was awful. I was in East End with all them above me as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's, you never know, like, if we'd have won that and gone to the Carabao Cup final and won the Carabao Cup, maybe that's enough to give him a bit of a breathing space.
If wishes were fishes.
I know.
Yeah.
Just, it might have been that game.
Give him another chance, come on.
But would you rather have Moisey now?
This is what we've come to.
Yes.
No.
You would?
Yes.
No.
Ten Hag, he's had more than enough time to prove that he's not good enough.
But who would you change him for? No, but everyone else.
Is he your number one?
Yeah, just
not over like Potter or anyone else that's available.
That's a good question, that, because who
comes in?
I know who you want.
Go on.
Yeah, but we can't have him now.
Can I try?
Well, maybe because luckily if they're doing shite, he might get sacked.
He likes Steve Cooper.
No, I don't. That's for
Sneeze
England.
Cooper.
That's for England.
Honestly, Steve Cooper and Moyes.
No. I wouldn't.
Don't two managers.
I wanted McKenna.
Do you know what, right? When we were linked with McKenna,
Maybe.
I agree.
out of all the ones we were linked with, he was the one that I said I'd have because it's all a gamble. If you're going to gamble, you may as well gamble on the kid.
Plus, he knew the club, he knew the players, because he brought them all through. He'd have been good. Especially if we were rebuilding and this was our time to rebuild, have a young manager who knows what it's about, plays good football. I think he'd have been good.
It's a massive risk.
But it is. But it's a risk.
They had the best option there.
Maybe.
He was the best option.
You can't say you're wrong, can you?
No, this is the issue. I mean,
Tell me why anyone who
I could
look
have
at
been wrong,
like.
but I just think it's a risk
come back
worth
to that,
taking
mate.
because it's just not. It's not going well now, is it? And it might not be going well if we got McKenna in, but at least it's a different option.
Could it be worse?
Yeah.
Nick's just made a good point for once. He said that.
I'll just leave. That's one.
He said,
Yeah. Check us out, Real Red Stock. Yeah.
hey, Eccles finest. He knows I'm only messing. He said that Thomas Tuchel was a good option, but obviously not one we can take up now. Would you have had him? Either of you two?
I would have.
Yeah. What do you make of this, Joe? The sort of the Ferrari over him becoming England manager. Do you care? You've got a bit of a Cockney twang, so I expect you were fuming.
I weren't. I mean, the truth is, I'm probably on Gary Neville's side of this fence. I mean, I think it's a really hard job for him.
Yeah.
If he don't win anything, it'll go straight to we've got a German manager.
He'll get
Yeah.
Pellets, won't he?
If he wins something, we'll all be all right about it. But
All right.
I don't think. I mean, for me, my wife goes mad. But for me, it's the old enemy still. I can't get away from it. I can't.
I was like 70 years ago.
Say he's saying it with
I
your
don't
chest
care how
out.
long ago it was.
Do you know what you're going to say? You're saying with your chest out. I respect that. Don't hide behind it. Don't pretend.
I can't
Just
help
say
it.
It's still the enemy.
The old enemy.
So if he won a World Cup, would you not celebrate?
Oh no, I'll celebrate. I'll have a cup of tea. I'll clap.
A cup of
tea. His contract's over now. Who's coming in?
Yeah.
That's a fair celebration. That a cup of tea.
No, listen. I've got no problem with him as a manager. I like the way he manages. I just think for England, I didn't want Sven when it was Sven. I didn't want Capello when it was Capello. I think you've got a point. But you know, when they're talking about Pep Guardiola, I would have gone out there singing and dancing to get him in. But I would have Mourinho as well.
The pool of coaches, though. Like
I don't want a German manager
Yeah.
in England. But at Man United, I'd take him all day long.
You look at what we need now, what we're craving, our away record in Europe, the clean sheets, his performances against the big teams, Tuchel. He is perfect for that. And they might say we've not got a perfect manager now, and Ineos might say that. That's fine. Get him in 2-3 years. If he wins something, then you bring him in.
But that's the issue since Fergie's left. It's always been, well, spend a load of money, get a manager in, spend a load of money, win something. He'll ruin the club. There's too many players who are getting overpaid. We need to get rid of them all. Bring another manager in to try and sort that out.
Yeah.
And he overspends to win a trophy because he's going to get the sack. And it's just been the same cycle over and over and over again. That's why I said with McKenna, I don't think that would have been his thing. I think he'd have been similar in a way to what Ollie did, where he tried to settle the club and just rebuild it. And honestly, I think with Ollie, I think he got sacked too early. I know it was grim, but he was trying to build something at this club that got changed straight away. The moment
His record is that fucking Liverpool game, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
5-0. You know what?
Yeah.
Because you look at it, you go, okay, it's not great that run, but it's not horrendous. It's like, you know, there was a few wins there scattered around, but it's that 5-0. I think it was the one where everyone was like, this is, we're done here. We all loved Ollie.
But that's the thing though, if you look at why he got sacks and that record of games, we've had worse since.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right now it's worse.
I think it's the worst football I'm seeing. That I can remember overall for a period that I've
because it's a mixed bag in it when you watch us. You don't know what's like. There's a deep line, but then they're trying to press like individually. There's a big gap in midfield.
Oh, it's terrible that.
You go 1-up, you know they're always good. You can't be comfortable in the game because you know 2-3-0. Even still, then they'll bring it back. Even then,
everyone gets a chance against us, don't they? We never have a game you go, well, we stopped it today.
we're the worst team off the ball. One of the worst teams off the ball in the league. Honestly, the application is just.
And we give it
shocking.
away quick when we've got it. We try and counter, don't we? We're breaking, so we give it away quick. We never seem to go, let's keep the ball for 5-10 minutes, slow the game down, we're winning 1-0 or 2-0. Yeah. We don't get there, do we? We don't walk out the pitch, we don't go out there like we should do Sunday and go, right, we'll win 3-0 today.
I've not felt like that in a long time.
I'm going, it's 2-2 Sunday.
When was the last comfortable, like, where you've gone, that is a satisfying win where we've dominated and blown them out of the park? Obviously, people mention Barnsley, but Barnsley, all due respect to it. I'm talking like a decent outfit, whether it's in the Premier League or the Europa League, and you've gone, wow, that's a good, solid performance.
Probably the City game in the cup final.
Yeah.
I think the City game, I think that was a very good performance.
It was actually.
It was,
he got it technically right.
The best on the Ten Hag, would you say?
Yeah, people in the chat are saying it. Joe James Johnson's FA Cup. Brian Casey is sitting in the cup final. Jed's dead baby says the drama is nonsense. Not losing away from home is the blueprint for progression in Europe. As long as we win the rest of our home games, we're fine. I was saying this before. I said it last night. It's not. If it was just a draw, I've seen Manchester United under Fergie draw away in Europe, and it's been fine. You've seen it yourself, Joe. We all have. We've all seen results that are worse than a result against or a draw against Fenerbahce. I think it's the whole you've not won for a year, the concepts of the manager being under pressure. I just want to ask you a little bit about, we spoke to Jamie Jackson earlier today. He's going to be on the channel later. We're going to have that out, mentioning a little bit about Erik ten Hag and his comments. What do you make of his post-match presser, or not just that one, maybe in general? Because regardless whether you like ten Hag or not, he gets a lot of scrutiny when he speaks, and sometimes he gets ridiculed for what he says. What do you make of his comments?
He can't do it, but I'm pulling my hair out when I'm listening to him talk, because I'm like, this is not what I'm watching. It doesn't represent what's going on the pitch. Whether he's seeing something different in training, I don't know if something's lost in translation. I remember there was a journalist, I don't know, you probably know who it was, who pulled him up about his tactics. And he looked like he was a deer in the headlights. He was like, "Oh, is that what you think? That's not what."
Is that when Ian Ladyman did a list? There was one where he went, "What do you mean?"
And he said, "What you want about?"
And he goes, "Oh, actually." And he just went, "Yeah, well, you concede too many goals. You don't score enough goals. You maybe a team in transition, but we're not really seeing that." And he was like, "All right, slow down. No need for that." No, to be fair, he stuck up for himself, but that's what I mean. You forget your list. Fuck off. Get out.
I would have respected that more.
Yeah, you're bad for life.
Fuck off.
But if that's the one I think you're referring to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get your point. I've only ever been in press conferences with ten Hag in pre-season, and he's usually quite jovial and relaxed because it's pre-season.
Yep.
First season he came, obviously it was his first season, so there was no, there was nothing to get at him about, or there was no reason for him not to be pretty relaxed. The second summer, it was coming off the back of a solid first season, and even last summer he was pretty buoyant because we just won the FA Cup. So I've seen probably the best of ten Hag whenever I've been in a press conference or whatever. But you can see his comments, Joe. What do you make of him? You know what I mean, when you see like some what he says, do you feel there's an element of, well, what did you expect him to say, or do you think he comes across a bit daft?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think managers, I know it's different now, and I've never been on that side of a press conference where, and what it's like nowadays to what it used to be like. But I think if you think back to, and you have Fergie sitting there, or you put Mourinho there, so Mourinho's conferences today, the whole thing about yesterday's game is just now about Mourinho saying today.
Yeah.
And about the referee, it's nothing to do with the game now.
Yeah.
The manager needs to take attention away from everything else and make it about. And I think if someone questioned Ferguson on tactics in a game, he'd say, "I'm the manager, nothing to do you."
Yeah.
Whether it's press or the ITV or the BBC or whatever, it wouldn't matter. And I think sometimes, as we're the biggest club in the world, the manager needs to be the biggest manager in the world, personality-wise, and he needs to shut it down.
Yeah.
For me, I think when you get in tittle-tattle in news conferences, you are asking for trouble.
Yeah. No.
In any position.
Do you think there's like a communication problem with the players? Because he does come across a little bit like a head teacher in the way he kind of explains things, rather than, because like you said with Jose, he has got that character. I think you do need like a perfect blend of both. Yeah. I'm not saying he's a robot. I don't mean like that.
I think when he come in and he dealt with, like, he got rid of Ronaldo, I thought, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with what was going on. Like, I'm not saying that decision was right or wrong, actually, but when he did it, I thought, that's strong, because you are going against someone that's coming at you like
the biggest star in football.
That's hard. He dealt with it really well, and we've seen him do it with other times throughout. And I think them decisive decisions, I can go with it, even if I think they're wrong, Sancho or whatever. Yeah. I'll go with it because that's what it takes to be a winner.
Absolutely.
But then there's other bits where you go, well, it looks like a deer in the headlight, doesn't it? And then the conferences after last, it's not like we're not good enough. It's all this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not buying it.
It looks like he's struggling a little bit, doesn't he?
He just looks like he needs a break, doesn't he? He needs a run of 4 games where the pressure's off. But ultimately, you're going to do more news conferences than Manchester United managing player than any other club you're going to be at, and it's going to be more intense.
Do you ever bump into Ronaldo around your way?
I've met him. I had dinner with him. So
what does he smell like?
Smelled amazing.
I bet it does.
Yeah, you can imagine that.
My plasterer who done my house is his best mate from school, moved over with him.
Really?
I swear to God, and he took my kid and me to when Real Madrid played to the Lowry to have dinner with him.
Seriously?
Rui Alves, it's his best mate.
That's amazing, that,
yeah. He still floats about all the years. Wednesday, does all the plastering. That's Rui Alves plastering. There's an advert there.
That sounds like. Do you know what? That sounds like.
I swear to you.
You know, like when you plaster and say that to you. It's like Ronaldo's on the telly. Go, this is my best mate. I went to school with him. Yeah, you're like.
I thought that. So I turned up with Larry. They didn't know nothing about it, security, and then he walked in and then took us through, and then he gave my son his sticky toffee pudding. I swear.
Really?
I swear on my life. Yeah.
Wow.
It's such a shame, isn't it? That, like, because you know when you ever get this argument about with fans, whether it's United fans, whether it's rival fans in the Premier League, about who the greatest player in the Premier League era is or whatever. For me, there's only one player. I'm not saying he's the greatest Premier League player ever, but there's only one player in Premier League history who's been in the conversation of being the GOAT, and that's Ronnie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
He just went in long enough.
no. I mean, but you've not had a player. There's no other player you can say in the Premier League who is in the conversation of being the greatest player of all time.
Ryan Giggs.
Other than shut up. Because like it was. I know a lot of people now say Messi's left him behind a little bit because of winning the World Cup and all the rest of it. But it was Messi and Ronaldo for years, wasn't it?
I want to go back to those times now. I feel like I miss those times so much.
Well, no, one goal, 2 goals, 2 goals.
07, 08, Ronaldo.
The record for those was ridiculous, wasn't it? Was it Messi did like 100 goals in a calendar year or something?
Yeah.
Outrageous, man.
Just numbers you'd never seen before, really. Do you know what I mean? It was like...
I feel like football in general has gone down more of like a fitness kind of robotic system with Pep coming in. I'm not saying it's not nice football that they play, but I feel like the Berbatovs and the Ronaldinhos, you don't really get those in football anymore, do you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a different...
The floaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think it's surviving the system with demands now.
If I know social media was around, but if social media was around now, like it was then when Berbatov was playing, Berbatov would be getting lost it. People forget that.
Oh yeah, he would be.
Because he was very hot and cold, Berbatov, and I loved him inside Berbatov.
He did some amazing things, but I used to get so frustrated.
Yeah, so he created the false 9, didn't he?
That's the one.
Yeah,
I
created it
when he scored that hat-trick against the Scousers. And he didn't score for the next 9 games. And I remember I did a blog like, he needs to fix up like what's going on. And he scored 5 in his next game against Blackburn. Yeah, do you remember? Yeah. And you look at it, you go on paper there, that's 8 goals in 11 games. That's
that's how they
in 2 games. Do you know what I mean? That was the kind of thing he could do. He could be like the greatest player you'd ever seen, and then he could go missing. But
it was the running, weren't it? I think back then we wanted everyone, we used to everyone bursting and running.
He came into to replace Tevez, and Tevez was just running after everything. And he comes in just like hands in his pockets.
Yeah. From a technical perspective, though, it was unbelievable.
Oh, he was. I mean, listen, I'm not saying I wouldn't have Dimitar Berbatov, a prime Dimitar Berbatov. Well, as he is, as a 40-year-old. Yeah, probably still moves the same then, now as he did then.
Goalkeeper,
do you know what I mean? He's probably like that languid style. Nick, what have you been up to? What are you up to this weekend? Where can people find you and follow you?
Busy. Got that West Ham game, so I'll be covering that a lot on my channel. And then, a few little bits and bobs on the radio.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
On Radio Manchester.
Yeah, that's the one. Even though I've not really got anything good to say, as you said before. But
well, you got to be honest. That's all you can do, innit? Give them your honest opinion. They need a bit of that on the beep.
Yeah.
Are you on there tonight?
Not tonight. No, I don't think so.
What are you up to? Paddock FC.
Paddock FC got in the cup against Duckingfield.
Oh, do you know what? The first ever game that I went.
Not them. It's another one, but yeah.
What? There's 2 Duckingfields.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
It's weird, isn't it?
Because I remember when Paddock started, me and Casey did the commentary.
I saw a picture of me, you, him. He was wearing a bib.
Yeah.
And John Neal.
Yeah.
Like 4 of us there.
Yeah, that was back in the day when it was 2020, just after COVID.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. So you got Duckingfield in the cup.
And then working in the bar afterwards.
All right. Okay. Drowning your sorrows.
Celebrating.
I should say. Is Steve still on his banner, or is he allowed back in the dugout?
He's allowed back in, but he's in Wales trying to be a football manager in here.
Right, okay. Doing his coach.
He's getting his badges in Wales.
Yeah, he's not messing about, Mr. Housing. No. Joe, what are you up to? I'm
going down to London to the game.
Yeah?
So I'll be down there.
Mate, putting yourself through it. Right, fair play to you.
Keeping my hands in my pockets if West Ham score, I'll be doing it. And if we score, I'm just sitting there going...
Trying not to look excited that we've actually
don't get yourself in trouble.
Surrounded by West Ham supporters everywhere.
You know what I mean? We don't want to see in the headlines. Lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. Go and check. You know where to find all these on the socials. You know where to find Joe. You know where to find Nick. You know where to find Dave. Go and check out them on socials. A big thank you as well, Surfshark, sponsoring this podcast. That's been Joe Sealey. That's been Dave Pritt. That's been Nick from Real Red Salt. I've been Jay. This has been The Brew. Thanks for watching.
See you in a bit.
See you later.